my song doses the panic, coursing through my veins. They say this, so bring attraction. I feel it sink this down, just like a noose around my neck. It has been my whole life, trying to prove to myself that I was good enough.
Hey guys, welcome back to Digging In with Tyler. This is episode 32 with Devin Attard, not Attard, from Holofront. I had to make sure to ask him the correct pronunciation beforehand, so that's why I enunciated that way. What's up, dude?
You nailed it, bro. You nailed it. What's going on, man?
So the question I did not want to tell you that I wrote down was,
okay,
how come nobody else? I think one other person has snagged you for like a podcast or an interview. Why? Why only one other person?
I don't think I've really reached out a lot about podcasts or like interviews or anything like that. Like, I mean, like I've done like a couple interviews on like YouTube and stuff like that, but like I've never done like a podcast. So this is my about it.
Boom. You were on, what was the other one? It was called Vane?
Oh. Yeah, so they're called Audio Vein, and that's more of like an interview. It's like a music website where they just do like, you know, from Audio Vein, hit me up about doing an interview. And I was like, hell yeah, let's do it. And he just gave me a call and asked me a bunch of questions. He's a super nice dude, super, super nice guy. And yeah, so now I think after that, you know, and then, you know, you hit me up about, you know, your podcast, and then the drummer from a band called Lotus Eater has a podcast, and I'm going to be going on his now. So yeah, I'm starting to kind of get into the podcast world. You know what I'm saying? It's fun.
Getting into the groove. And for those watching how I obtained Devin onto this podcast, essentially he was on his live stream and I just said, hey, you should come on my podcast. And he's like, yeah, dope, hit me up. And it was just that easy. Like, that's nuts. That's nuts. Because
hey man, I'm a human being, you know. I love the chat.
Sure. And that's one of the reasons why I started this podcast is like Deanna and I had talked about it, and I needed a premise for a podcast. And then my thought was, what do we have a lot of in Omaha, and what needs to be done about it? So we have a lot of musicians in Omaha. I know a shit ton of musicians. So this podcast is made to bring them to the forefront, so that way people know them. So even if a podcast gets, let's just say 36 views, that's 36 more people that might know about that band that didn't know about them beforehand. So that's what I love about doing this.
Dude, and I think like, I don't know, a lot of people don't have the self-esteem or the confidence within themselves to actually go through with it and do it. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, there's going to be a few out of a group that will put their all into something and make their vision happen. And then the rest are just going to be like, yeah, you know, like it's not like, it sounds cool, but you know, maybe it's not for me. But I really respect you for doing this, dude. I think it's awesome that you're getting to know musicians and you're trying to bring some light to the music industry. And that is very badass. So I appreciate you having me on here, dude. Seriously.
Thank you. So, and then another thing I wanted to talk about that's kind of the news right now. Have you watched the Ghost Inside's new music video, Aftermath?
I have not watched the music video, but I've listened to the song. I listened to it.
Oh, you got to watch the music video, Devin.
Okay, so can you give me a rundown of this music video?
Yeah, so the rundown of the music video is they're on the highway that they got in the bus crash on, or at least it's supposed to be the highway that they got in the bus crash on. And then when he starts doing the clean
the drummer
singing,
lost his leg and everything. It's tragic.
Exactly. When he starts doing the clean singing, it's showing like their rehab process. So it shows them on the stage and then split screen, and it's them in rehab. So it shows the drummer playing drums, but then on the other half of the screen, it shows them walking with a walker with no leg. Yeah, it was rough. It was rough to watch.
Wow. And as soon as we're done with this, I have to watch it. But like, that's inspiring because it's like if they can do that, you know what I mean? Like, what's anyone else's excuse? You know?
For sure, for sure. And that's exactly how I felt after I watched it. I'm like, people make so many excuses, and we take so much stuff for granted. Like right now is a great example with quarantine. It's like people don't like going to band practice. You're really going to appreciate band practice after this because it got taken away for 2.5 months.
Exactly. Like Hollow Front hasn't. Like we haven't practiced at all. We had 3 tours that have been postponed. I had some session gigs that have been postponed. Like, you know, a lot of people complain about, you know, oh man, we gotta, you know, load all of our gear and we gotta practice and we gotta load it back out and load up the trailer. And but it's like I miss loading everything up a flight of stairs at a venue and then bringing it right back down after I just finished playing. Like I missed that, so I'm very excited about that.
Yeah, you'd probably trade anything right now just to do that.
You bet.
Now you're talking about session drumming. You play technically for 2 bands, or do you just record for a Virtue?
So for a Virtue, like I was lucky enough to have the opportunity to play with them on a month-long tour with the Pound of Burning Body in September. And before that, I was supposed to play with them on an Asia tour, but just like a lot of miscommunication. It wasn't the right time. They ever since I played that tour with them, the U.S. tour with the Pound of Burning Body, it's just we've really gelled, and it's one of those bands where it's like, you know, when I'm available, when Hollow Front's not touring, because Hollow Front is my full-time band, you know, their priority. Whenever I'm not busy with them, like I'll be playing with a Virtue, you know. So yeah, I just did some studio work with them, not yesterday, but the day before, and and yeah, I've just been, you know, staying busy with them too, along with Hollow Front. But when it comes to Virtue, I'm not their like permanent drummer or anything like that. Like they're still technically looking for a drummer. But yeah, so I just like fill in for them.
So you were essentially, let me draw a comparison here. You were the Luke Holland to Icy Stars.
Sure, you could say that. Sure.
or you could even go even further, and you could say you're the Aaron Gillespie to Paramore.
Ooh, he played for Paramore?
Oh my God, Devin! Devin,
I totally can see that. Like in my head, like I can see him playing like Misery Business and everything. Like I see it.
Yeah, I don't know what happened with their normal drummer. Maybe the same thing. Maybe they just the guy had something come up. Maybe Aaron went and played for a month. He played with him out in Europe at a big festival. I remember watching this, but I wonder what the occasion was. I don't know. But could you imagine transitioning from like a heavy band like Under Oath?
Oh. I mean, like, wait, are you saying like transitioning to like a bigger band like that, or do you mean like playing like heavy music and then going to
exactly
like
and then going
the
to
soft poppy? Oh, okay. And then go to like what?
Yeah, and then going like from Under Oath to Paramore. Could you imagine you're playing this? You're playing these jams for like 10 years, and then Paramore's like, "Hey, we need a drummer," and then you go to playing that. Could you imagine that?
Yes, I can, because first off, that'd be fun. And I have always loved playing like poppy stuff, or like some of my drum covers, or like, you know, different genres like that. But Paramore playing music like that, I think that'd be super fun, because it's not throwing any shade on the drum writing, but it's very, you know, simple drumming. You know what I mean? Where it's like gives you a lot of freedom to be energetic and like have fun with it and just totally go crazy. Like, you know what I mean? While staying in the pocket. And I would love to do that, and they make great money. So.
Yeah, I mean that's an added bonus. No big deal.
Exactly.
No, you touched on a point right.
That's the cherry on top.
You touched on a point right there. You said very energetic, and that's one thing that I appreciate about your drumming, because the first time that I seen you was back in Omaha back in January, and I can remember it like it's yesterday, because I was sitting in the front, and you would play a fill, and you'd like lock eyes with people, and then you'd make like a silly face, and then just like absolutely shred, but you'd be like, it's just so classic.
Man, I really appreciate that. I swear, I remember talking to you, and you were just like super nice, bro. You were just like, you're one of those people that you meet on the road where it's just like, all right, it's people like this who really show us that like there's like such beautiful people that you're gonna meet in all these different states, all these different cities, and like you've been so friendly, dude, and like you're having me on your show and stuff like that. So it means a lot. But yeah, like when I'm playing live and I'm playing with Hollowfront or whoever it's with, whenever I do a fill or something like that, there's just like I'm able to bring out my natural self behind a drum set.
Right.
So like I make the dumbest faces and I can't make them when I'm not playing because it's just like it's my natural reaction to what I'm doing. You know what I mean? And I've always played by ear, so I've just always let my body flow with it. And yeah, dude, I remember that show. That was a super fun show. That was a super fun show.
The funny thing that was said before this podcast was Deanna was saying, yeah, Tyler was a very big fan of drums. He really loves drums. When you play your fills live, I'm like, that's not the way it's recorded. Nuh-uh. He made that up. That's improvised. There's no ride in that part.
She says that?
No, I do. I'm like, I know for a fact that's not how it was recorded.
See, that's cool that you have the ear for that, you know what I mean? Because, like, there's some people that listen to music and they just, like, you know, they like that it's heavy, they can feel it, and they relate to the lyrics. And then there's other people that, like, catch musical little things, you know what I mean? And, like, you have a certain ear for stuff. So, like, I can appreciate that you have that. That's cool.
I guess that's the perks of living. Well, I guess my best friend's a drummer. So I've been around drums for about 11 years, and then I started playing about a year ago. I bought that set, so I guess I hear things. And now nice. we always make this joke. Anytime we play like a linear fill, we'll just end it and we'll look at each other and we'll just go linear. Linear. It's just the funniest thing. But
that's good.
Yeah. So you're very energetic. That's one thing I like about the band, obviously. When you guys came to Omaha, I was so pumped because it had been almost 3 years in the making. I had known about that band before you were even in it.
That's cool.
So think about
That's really cool. Yeah. I joined the band like a year ago. So
that's nuts. And I keep thinking back to like conversations I've been having in my head, like preparing for this. Another thing that I really like that you did is the first time I ever seen you in person, you had stickers and you had a postcard. And you're like, hey, I don't know if you've ever heard of my band. I'm a part of the band Hollowfront. And even though you were not an establishing member of the band, you treat that like it's your baby, like you were one of the founding members.
Yeah. It's definitely something that comes naturally to me is whatever I'm going to put myself into musically. And I think, you know, you should do this with all aspects of what you're trying to work towards. When you're putting yourself into something, you want to put your all into it. And if you're not going to put your all into it, then don't have your name on it because you don't want to half-ass something that you know can be greater. You know what I mean? So I want to always establish myself and whatever I'm associated with. I want to make sure that, you know, I brand myself. I network with the people that are there, whether if it's like 10 people or it's, you know, 50 people or it's 150 people or 500 people. I want to walk around and I want to say, hi, how you doing? I play drums for Hollowfront. My name is Devin Attard. You know, I don't know if you're into metalcore, what we're about, but here's some stuff. You know what I mean? Like, that doesn't hurt to brand yourself. And that's what people got to do when you're in a business, like a band like Hollowfront. Hollowfront's a business. We have to brand ourselves. You got to network. Yeah. You got to, you know, push yourself to people who don't even want to see it because that's what it takes to get to the next level. So with Hollowfront, when I joined and people didn't even know who I was, I wanted people to know who I am. and that's only going to happen by me, making it happen. So, you make a good playthrough, you're professional, you track, right? Like the first weekend that I met them, I went up there, I tracked the song, did the playthrough as a one playthrough, played 3 shows, and it was a good first impression, and that's something I always want to do with anything that I'm entering. Is I want to come in with a good first impression, and I just I love networking and branding myself. So
Yes, good transition, because I have a whole bunch of stuff that can come off of that. As far as marketing yourself, you do a very good job on Instagram. I know I looked at your followers right now. It's like 5,000 something, right? But one thing that you're very adamant about doing, and one thing that I look forward to seeing, is your stories, because they're very like inclusive. You're like, hey, here's a sneak peek into my life. Today I'm tracking with a Virtue. Hey, I've got a drum cover coming up. There's never any guessing with you. It's always, hey, check this out. I've got this going on. Be looking forward to this. Like, I think you're on top of it, and it's great.
Thank you, man. That means a lot. Like, again, I want to network myself, and anyone who supports me, my drum covers, if they've seen me play with a Virtue or Langdon Tours or Hotel Books or whoever it might be, Hollow Front, I want to brand myself the best that I can, and I want to be personal. I don't talk about like, man, I'm really feeling down today. Like, like I woke up this morning and I just was feeling not motivated or anything like that. Like, I don't go into that realm, because I think when you do that on a platform that people are looking for positivity, energetic, you know what I'm saying? Like good vibes, you keep it professional, but at the same time, you make it personal. And I'm like, all I have in my life is my music career. I'm not saying I'm banking on being a rock star, because I'm serious. I don't plan on, being the next Tommy Lee or Joey Jordison or the Rev. I want to be a well-respected musician in the music industry, and I want to be comfortable and, have a good life where I could say that I achieved goals within my music career, and I'm doing well for myself. 10 years from now, I'm 20 right now. When I'm 30, I want to be in a successful band on touring on a bus, making a steady income. And when I'm home, I'll have my own side hustle, whatever it may be, whether if it's doing session drumming for studios, other bands. If I want to just stay tied down to a band, I don't know. But I want to make sure that whatever I'm doing, I'm staying on top of it. And when it comes to Instagram, it's just, a big goal for me this year is to hit 10,000 followers. And with that just comes a lot of attention, and, you got to put your all into it.
We'll get you to 10,000. We'll get you to 10K. Now, a question to follow up off of that. Do you feel like, being that you're part of a younger generation, do you feel like that plays as an advantage as far as marketing goes on Instagram compared to somebody, let's say, like a band like Die Artist Murder, where those guys are in their late 30s? Granted, they might be posting, but I think your age plays an advantage, because people are like, holy shit, this guy's 20 and he's doing this right now, and he's played with these people. Do you see what I'm saying?
No, I know what you're saying. I don't really milk my age that much. Like, I don't have it like in the bio of my page on Instagram. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have like 20 years old, anything like that. I kind of throw it in there on my Instagram, and people notice it and they see it, and they're like, people have told me, I literally thought you were like 26. I thought you were like in your late 20s. And, I see it as an advantage when bands check you, like, they want to check you out, see what you're about. They're like, wow, he's only 20. He's accomplished this so far. It's a really good, addition. We're more intrigued, rather than me being 29, 30 years old. You know what I'm saying? I just got to touring, you know what I mean? So I'm very blessed and grateful that I'm able to do this with my life at a very young age. And I've always wanted to make sure that I keep a straight head. I only smoke marijuana. I've never done blow. I've never done acid, anything like that. Like I drink here and there, but I love my coffee, my joints. And when I'm on tour, I want to do my job and impress. I want to impress my client, or I want to impress whoever I'm working for. I want to make sure that they're satisfied, and that everyone's having a good time. You know what I mean? And yeah, and that's.
So how did you get the attention of Legato Symbols then? Was that based off of posting off Instagram or posting those covers, or did you already have a personal relationship with, is it Carlos?
So Ray is a legato artist, and he had been following me for a few years, and just has liked my stuff, and he was throwing SJC at me. He was like, yo, you should play SJC drums. And for a while I always wanted to, but I just didn't really make the initiative to do that. And after a while, this year I made a lot of goals for myself with Paul Raymond, because with Paul and me, we're able to achieve a lot. And since the beginning of 2020, Paul has gotten a Quasar sponsorship. He's gotten free lights from that. The lights in my videos, he's gotten those for free from Quasar. A clothing sponsorship, so me and him together, we're able to get a lot of work done and brand a lot of companies. And I wanted to make it a huge goal that I get a cymbal endorsement. I join a drum roster, and that I hit 10,000 followers. I wanted to play over 100 shows, and that was going to happen this year, but because of
course,
COVID-19, it's so yeah, we made it a big thing, and I wanted to push myself to these different companies. And I was talking to my buddy Tito from Upon a Burning Body. Shout out to Upon a Burning Body. I love those guys. He recommended TRX, and TRX Cymbals is awesome. And then Ray was really pushing legato on me, and I just I wanted to weigh out my options. And I've gotten offers from companies when I was like 16, 17, and I don't want to just like throw myself, just to be endorsed. You know what I mean? You never want to do that. You want to make sure, just unless you're getting something out of them, which like legato, they're sharing my videos. SJC, they're sharing my video. I've gained followers from that. Like, you know what I mean? Like they help me a lot, and you don't want to jump to the first opportunity. So I weighed out my options, and I joined the Legato Cymbal family, and I love them. And Carlos is the owner, and he's phenomenal. If anyone is watching this that's a drummer, check out Legato Cymbals. I promise you would not be disappointed. They are like a Turkish cymbal company. But it's just I'm crazy about them, honestly. And yeah, they're a great company. Then SJC too, they are a phenomenal drum company. I'm super proud to be a part of their family. Like, they're great. And anyone who, like I said, who's a drummer, check out SJC drums. And then Vratum too. Vratum was my first endorsement. They are a drum shoe company, and they're honestly they're for all musicians. If you're a guitarist, if you're a vocalist, if you're a bassist, they're just fueled and ran by musicians. But they're mainly for drummers, but like it's for musicians. But like they have been amazing. When I was 18, just graduated high school, they endorsed me right before my first tour, which was with Landon Tours and Hotel Books. And yeah, so they're a great company. That I'm also sponsored by Victari Watches. They're a watch company out of Ohio. They're phenomenal. Shout out to Cody Sizemore. He's been super awesome. And am I missing anybody else?
No, I don't know.
No,
I feel like I see. I feel like I see all these names every single day, so I'm like double checking in my head. I'm like, he did say the watches, he did say the shoes, cymbals, the drums.
Yeah.
Next thing.
Big goal is drum dots and were you about to say sticks?
Yeah, you could do sticks, or you could go really. You could get sponsored by some type of beverage. Some type of beverage, a coffee company.
Monster,
No,
or that.
yeah, coffee. Okay, if there's two choices, actually, what kind of coffee do you have up there in Michigan? Like, what are your main? Is it between Dunkin' and Starbucks?
Starbucks for sure.
Starbucks for sure. Okay.
For sure.
Okay. Whatever. It's okay. It's okay.
Okay.
I mean, you just don't have
Dude,
scooters up there.
Starbucks coffee
Otherwise,
has balls, dude. It has balls and
What?
it's bitter coffee.
I know. Today, like my normal order, this is a cold brew with 2 extra shots and a little bit of cream. And guess what? I drink 2 of them a day. That's not
Jesus
bitter
Christ.
enough. It's okay though. It's okay. Like with my job right now, I have to be so wired because I'm a delivery driver. So I'm like coffee, and then I follow it up with Monster, and then it's just like a shit ton of water loading, and then after that, it's just game over. I can do whatever.
There you go. Lemon water. I drink a shit ton of lemon water.
Are there any lemon water producers out on the
No.
market right now?
No, there is not.
Already
There
checked.
is not.
We're gonna check Google after this and be like, hey, lemon water manufacturers US. I'm gonna write that down.
I'm just gonna have to hit them up.
Hey, I'm Devin. I play drums. I'm looking for a beverage sponsor right now.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh my God, we talk so much about sponsors. Anyhow, let's move on to this. So, before the podcast, Devin and I have something in common, and we do what's called drum talk. And drum talking is a form of communication that drummers use with other drummers. So if I'm like, hey, in this section here, you should end it with a that is a form of drum talk. Now, when you are in your writing process, let's say you're hearing the tracks for the first time, you're hearing guitar. Do you drum talk it out? Do you like play it out? Or do you listen to it and then play it on the drum set? Like,
so listen, here's how it goes. And one thing I love about Holofront's producer, Lee Albrecht, he knows the drum talk. He gets the lingo. All right. He gets it.
Dope.
He gets it. He understands. All right. So I'll be in the drum room and we'll just be thinking about something. And I usually just go right off the top of my head. That's how I do it with, drum covers that are like not metal or anything like that.
Yeah.
I'll listen to it, but I won't like really listen to the parts. I'll just flow with it right when I, track. And I'll be like, hey Lee, what about at this part? Like, and he'll be like, yeah, that'd be sick, but what if you do like a you know what I'm saying? I'll be like, and I'll be like, oh, like this, and then I'll be like, you'd be like, exactly. You'd be like, let's track it. We'll track it.
This is so great because like drum talk, it's almost like code talking. I totally understand what you're saying right there. I totally understand. I can visualize it. Whereas somebody like a vocalist is like, what the fuck is he saying? I don't understand what a is.
No, he would just you just have to do it, and you'd be like, oh, sweet, okay.
Yeah, fair. Drum talk. Oh my God, it's so fun. Oh, another thing I want to touch on. Let's backtrack a little bit. So we're talking about Aaron Gillespie touring with Paramore. If you were to get the opportunity to tour with a big act, let's say outside of like metal, hardcore, let's say like a big pop artist or rap artist, who would you pick?
I would love to play for Lil Dicky.
Oh yes, Lil Dicky.
I would love to play for NF.
Okay, yeah, another big one.
I would love to play for. Trying to think of some rappers that I've been listening to. Ooh, if Frank Ocean ever needed a drum, I love Frank Ocean so much. Logic.
Logic, that'd be fun because it's got a lot of upbeat stuff that you could play around with.
Tyler, the Creator.
That'd be dope.
I'm trying to think of some other ones that I've. Who's the dude that did the? Who did that? That song?
Like,
That rap song?
Wait,
You know what I'm saying?
is it supposed to be like?
With the man with the flow, with the gap that. That song? And it was like,
I have no. I have no idea.
yeah, I really like his shit.
Okay, let's type that into Google. Who is the person who sings the song that goes space, space, space?
It would totally come up. It would totally come up. I promise. It would totally come up.
Okay, we'll search it after this. We'll search it. I promise. I'm gonna have that shit stuck in my head, Devin. Thanks a lot, prick.
I swear to God, dude. Wait until you hear it.
And I'm gonna be like, wow, he was right. It does go Okay.
It does. It's the hook.
God, now you got me guessing. You know what? I don't listen to a ton of rap, although I know all the rappers are talking about it. I think
someone who watches this will comment the rapper's name when they see this. They're gonna be like, that's the first thing they're gonna do is comment the rapper's name.
Oh, I think Devin's talking about this guy, and then like post a picture of the guy.
No.
How about God damn it! Now we got talked about rap. Okay, a big stereotype around here is like if you listen to hardcore, you don't like other types of music. You don't like, let's say, country, or you don't like rock, or you don't like folk music or funk, right? Is that the same up where you're around?
I mean, there's like a lot of people that listen to a bunch of stuff. I loved, like, okay, do you want to know an artist that I'm crazy about that a lot of people probably don't know? John Mayer.
What do you mean people don't know about?
John Mayer is literally my favorite artist. Like, if I could play for anybody, if I could choose to play for anybody in the world, it would be John Mayer.
All right, writing that down. John Mayer. Devin's number one.
Yes, big time.
Oh, just a second. That John Mayer's calling in. Let me just put him through to Devin. Could you imagine?
Oh, I wish. Only in a
Who is the
world.
who is the most famous person's phone number you have, if you were to guess? Like, let me set an example. Let's just say
Tours.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty damn good. It's pretty damn good. Can you talk about like
that's probably it.
Can you talk about Landon and how you? Can you talk about Landon and how you met him and how that all came about?
Yeah, so a friend, Miles Carter, he introduced me because I played for his band Telegraph, and I've done some work for him in the bands that he's played for. He got me in contact with Landon for a show at Frankie's Inner City in Ohio, and that was a sold-out show. Show went great, and then after that, he had a tour coming up, and he had a music video before it. He had me in the music video. Give You Something Too, the song is called. And then after that, he's like, hey, do you want to tour? And I was like, yeah, sure. And usually he has like the drummer from Era play for him, and he has like all these huge people play for him. And he asked me, so that was very humbling. And that was my first tour, and that was the summer that I graduated high school, and that was a month long.
Damn.
And we did that, and it was great. And I learned a lot. I learned a lot on that tour, just about professionalism and being a session drummer and honing your energy and all the stuff that you can bust out, but you got to play the part first. You got to fit the mold, and then you can, put some spice into it. So that was a great tour. That was a phenomenal tour.
Can you talk about the nerves maybe going into that, being that you were only, 17 or 18 playing with Landon Tours, and that's... Woo!
Honestly, I was just super excited. I was super excited that it was happening. You know what I mean? I was super, super stoked. So, I mean, leading up to it, I was just posting on my story, like, 15 days left, 14 days left, 13 days left, and like constantly just I was so excited, so positive the whole tour. I was like, wow. And Landon thought it was pretty funny because he's toured so much.
Oh,
But he was like, it's nice to have the, you know, the positivity around. I was super just blown away. And yeah, I mean, I wasn't really nervous. I was just excited. I had a lot of adrenaline with it.
Landon
And,
is
yeah, you know, so I was just stoked.
Landon is a one of a kind guy. Like, I remember
Big time.
like big time when I was growing up, like right out of high school. I can remember watching like studio vlogs. Those used to be the shit. Like The Word Alive, Miss May I, when they would go to Joey Sturgis, or like
Yep.
name any band. Like those studio vlogs were huge because one day it'd be guitar, one day it'd be drums, one day it'd be vocals. Anyhow, the cool thing about Landon was he wrote the structure for like all the music. So he would come up with the vocals, he would track the guitar, he would track the drums, and then he would send it out and just be like, okay, do your thing. That is a musical genius as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. Yes. He especially the AI 640 stuff, like he transitions from that to like the softer bluesy stuff, and it's just like it's really phenomenal. He's a genius when it comes to just lyrical work and instrumentals. He gets everything done, dude. He just does it. It's wild.
And another crazy thing about Landon, I know we're kind of on his nuts right now, but he's one of those types of artists that's transitioned as far as like being one of those really heavy bands, but then he has you as a fan doing the stuff he is now. It's not as heavy. But it's more.
Yep.
It's like more well thought out and more feeling.
It's him.
In a sense.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what he wants to do. You know, so that's what I totally respect him and everything that he does. You know, because he just puts his heart into it. It's not about what the people want. It's about what's, you know, best for, you know, plot and what's best for him.
Yeah, and that's one thing that I appreciate about him, because you see some bands where you're like, come on, that's not you guys. That's you trying to get on the radio and you trying to get popular.
Yep, you see that happen all the time. You know, it's just one of those things where, you know, when you're on a big label, that's going to be the circumstance within your contract, you know, but we're not. I'm not in that predicament, so.
Sucks. Hashtag the word alive.
Hashtag straight up not having a good time.
Oh, that hurts so much. Like, the word alive used to be so good when they had Justin Salinas, and then they went to Luke Holland. Like, you had the best drummer at the time, and then you got Light.
Well, you know, the word alive has gone through a lot, and A Virtue is really close friends with them, and they are super, super nice people. And you know, the transition from Luke leaving the band, you know, was rough on them.
Oh, yes.
I like their older stuff more than their newer stuff for sure. But Monomania is like, he's the album is a great written record, and their drummer Matt is also a part of the Legato Symbol family.
Oh, dang! Shout out.
Yeah. but yeah, that happens a lot with bands. You know, they just go a different route, and it's about, you know, what they feel is probably the same situation with them. It's probably just about how they feel, you know, what they want to do.
Have you ever been starstruck?
Yes.
With?
Yeah. So, I mean, like, now I would have played it a lot more cool, but the drummer, Josh Miller from Amir, he was at one of the Landon Tour shows, and the dude from I can't think of the band's name. I just totally recognize him because he's a drummer and a vocalist, and it's like a Blue Swan Records type band, like Dance Gavin Dance type band.
Drummer and vocalist.
He was there too, and he had super long brown hair.
I don't know why this band's coming up. Like,
he was
Hail
there.
the
So
Sun,
like when I was
or
playing,
some
I
shit.
tried to do. I was like, Hail the Sun, Hail the Sun. There you go.
Is it? Let's go.
That's it. Good job. Dude, good job.
Okay,
but
keep
yeah,
going,
so
sorry.
like no, you're good. You know, they were there, and I I tried to do something fancy while I was overthinking because I like was thinking in my head during the show like, wow, they're here, they're watching me right now. You know, I'm Landon's drummer right now. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
like I was like, I should do something cool, and I tried to do something cool, and I totally botched it.
Oh.
It happens, dude. It happens. And, you know, those are the learning moments where it's like, all right, next time I'm in front of someone that I admire, I'm just gonna say what's up and just play it cool and do my thing.
Would
know?
you
And then
consider that?
like, huh?
Would you consider that your worst like show experience, or have you had something worse than that?
Like technical difficulty wise, or something happening wise, like
All the above. Just shout it out.
Hollowfront had a show with a Virtue at the Loft in Lansing, Michigan, and it was like sold out, and the sound dude tripped over all the cables and unplugged everything from our mixer, like with the samples, because this is before we had the big rack case. So my mixer was on the side of me by my kit, and he was like trying to fix shit because he didn't set anything up right before the set, and we were like 2 bands before. So there was the opener, another band, or no, opener, band, us, another band of Virtue. And he just didn't set anything up right ever. And he fucked up a Virtue set too. And that's how they found me in the first place, which is cool. But the sound guy unplugged everything, and we were playing Black Hole. And I finished the song by memory, like I kept flowing with it. And then he was like, "Do you want me to plug it back in?" And as I'm playing, I'm like, "Yes." Yes, I will. Yeah. And then he plugs everything back in. It plays at the part that it stopped at while we're already by the end of the song. So I stopped it, or I took out my in-ears, kept going, finished the song. It was just a shit show. So that's the worst technical difficulty that I have had at a show.
That's funny you bring up that, because I actually have this written down, what we call double duty. You played twice in one night. Or was that before you were in playing drums with Virtue?
Playing for 2 bands in one night?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I've done it with Hollowfront and a Virtue at like a big metal festival called Annihilation Fest. That was also in Ohio at a really nice venue called the Civic Hall, or the Civic Music Hall. And that was with like Whitechapel and Atreyu and Devil Wears Prada. That was really fun. I've done that, and then the Landon Tours and Hotel Books tour, I played for Hotel Books along with Landon Tours. So, that was an experience. It was fun. Playing that type of music is, it's groovy, stuff like that. It's not my most favorite because I can't really be myself all that much.
Right.
Whenever I look for a session gig now or anything like that, I want to make sure that I can be myself as much as I can.
You want to make sure you do this.
If I'm not about it, I won't do it, Yeah, exactly.
One of these, and a couple of these, and then one of these. You know what? Do you remind me of?
I'll make an exception.
Oh, yeah. Okay, fair. There was a guitarist for Texas in July, the blonde kid. I think his name is Logan, if I can remember right. When he used to play, like, your headbanging is something, but his, like, all the way back and, like, all the way through. And I'm like, that guy's going to snap his neck playing guitar. Like,
damn, I'll have to check that out. That's crazy.
Yeah, I'll find this video for you. And he looked like he was super sane because he had this, like, crazy blonde hair and is always all over the place and spiky. I thought he was going to break his own neck. All right. What's like the craziest band you've seen live? Did you ever get to see the Chariot?
I've not seen them live. Like in person live, the craziest band I've seen? Ooh. That's a hard one, dude.
Can I set you up? I'll give you one.
All right.
Okay, so I don't understand why this band gets the reception it does. They don't play anything flashy. They don't play anything like where everybody knows the lyrics, but they get the crowd fucking going no matter where they're at. Like in Omaha, I've never heard of this band. I've never heard of this band before. There's like 60 people in there, and then the pit was from the front of the stage all the way back to the sound, like where the sound guy is. Do you know the band Jesus Piece? I don't know if we cut out.
Give a band now. Crystal Lake.
Oh, Crystal Lake. Oh, I seen them live in Lincoln, dude, and they were opening.
I saw them side stage in Grand Rapids, Michigan, because our manager Ryan Kirby was on tour with them, and we hung out, and I watched them side stage, and I was blown away. Gaku is one of my favorite drummers. I see a lot of myself in him, and I told him.
You know what's crazy?
He doesn't.
I bet you we've seen him on the same exact tour. Because they were
Probably.
playing with Miss May I.
It was Fit for a King.
Fit for King, Crystal Lake, and who was?
Yep, it was that tour.
Who was the other band? August Burns Red.
Parkway Drive. Or there you go. There you go.
Yeah, just missed the big band out of them. No big deal.
Sorry. All right.
Okay.
But yeah, Crystal Lake's crazy.
God, and the way that guy opened up, he opened up with like a 30-second drum solo, and his kicks, they're just so steady. Like, he's been doing. He's just got his hands up in the air.
Yep.
Exactly. I can't get enough of drumming. Like, he's too good. He's too good.
Right on. He's the best.
Oh, and how about this? Here's another thing that we have in common, and I think Tyler told me this about you. You and I both appreciate the band Holding Absence.
Ooh, yes. I love that band.
Oh.
I like the drummer, too. I forgot his name, but he writes good parts.
Hell yeah, he does. Like,
I should do a drum cover by them.
Yes. Keep talking sweet nothings to my ear, Devin. Keep going. What song would you cover?
What's that one song where it's like it just starts off the gun, like it's I can't think of the chorus. Name some songs. Give me some.
Parish, Saint Cecilia. Okay, Parish,
Nope.
Saint Cecilia, Gravity, Wilt.
Nope.
God dang it, Monochrome.
Monochrome.
Yeah, Monochrome.
Monochrome. I can't remember the hook to the chorus. It was so good though.
It goes, all of the time we wasted.
Oh yeah.
The time we wasted.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, Devin, you're a singer too. Oh
Like
my
that.
God, what a great vibrato.
Right
You got to do it like the Christina Aguilera.
You gotta hold your ear. You gotta hold your ear.
The Mariah Carey.
Exactly.
We should make a gif. We need to make a gif of that. Just us going. Is that how she sounds? She's like. All right, we're gonna probably wrap this up here in a second, but do this for me, Devin.
No problem.
I heard you guys are recording a new music video.
Yes, sir. Tomorrow.
And what song that is? Question mark.
So on the new record, that is going to be called Serendipity.
Ooh. Was it one of the songs you had previewed on that live stream?
Maybe.
Maybe. Okay.
Maybe.
Oh, I was on that live stream too. That was funny. Me and Tyler talked about this.
It starts off like like it's super heavy, and then it drops into like it's bouncy as fuck, dude. And it's gonna be a big like performance video, like performance music video in a big ass warehouse, and we're gonna be going hard, and you're gonna see a lot of the I'm saying.
Yeah, a lot of broken cymbals, because you break cymbals so often.
I just broke a china.
I know. What are you doing, Devin? Stop playing so hard.
I can't help it, dude.
Could you imagine playing the type of music you do? Could you imagine playing the type of music you do and just like Nice and soft.
No. 'Cause, like, well, like when you play like that, that's how, you know. I mean, I'm not throwing shade to anybody that, you know, is just a chill drummer or anything like that. Like when you're a good musician, you're a good musician. But when you have good showmanship, that's what draws people in, and that's what draws a crowd. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's just you got to put your body into it, bring your personality into it.
I call this the Warped Tour drummer. When the people are like this, they go, and they slam that left hand down like this.
Yes.
That's
yes,
the Warped Tour
you,
drummer.
you can call me that. You can call me that.
Except you got to add a little bit of this. I don't know how the fuck you do it. I don't know how you do it.
Oh God, it's just I'm sore after a show.
Yeah, I can only imagine. You probably got neck problems. You're gonna have back problems by the age of 26.
Yeah, right.
Actually, I don't hope that. I wish
It's
to
probably,
see.
honestly, it's probably gonna happen, but
I fucking jinxed you. You're like, oh yeah, I thought I was gonna have a healthy career up until the age of 50, and then like Tyler said, I was gonna have a broken back by 26, and look at me now. I got a broken back by 26.
I'm gonna message you. I'm gonna message you 6 years from now, and I'm gonna be like, you motherfucker.
Here's my hospital bill for my broken back.
Right.
All right, Dev. I'm gonna call you Dev from now on. How about that?
All right, Ty.
Oh, thanks. That's actually, people call me that.
I'm gonna call you. I'm gonna call you my pad Thai.
Pad Thai. Okay, that's so cute. So cute.
Thank you.
And if you get the reference on that slang, you got to let me know, because that's like a Chris D'Elia saying when he just says like "so cute."
Yeah, I don't get that, but. Oh God.
All right, Dev, do this. Plug anything you want. Plug your band, plug Spotify, all that good stuff, and then let people know what to look forward to.
All right, cool. So, again, I play for a band called Hollow Front, and our Instagram is @HollowFront. And we are putting out a new record soon, dropping new music soon. I just did some work with Of Virtue. They're going to be releasing some new content with some cool performance stuff. So I will be in that. I'll be sharing that. I got a Polaris drum cover coming up. I got some more drum videos coming up. I got another drum cover after that coming up. So I'm going to be collabing with some more musicians too. I was just hit up today by a guitarist for a band called Skyhaven. And I think they are phenomenal musicians, and they hit me up to collab today. And then another drummer, a YouTube drummer, a chick, I'm not going to say her name because I want to be surprised because I'm really stoked about it. She hit me up to collab, and so I'm going to be doing some of that, and I'm be doing another podcast. So I got a lot coming up. So just follow me at my Instagram @DEVINATTARD. So that's about it. Yeah.
Okay, let's wrap this thing up. And my final words here. That's how a professional plugs right there. He's only 20. He doesn't like saying it. He's only 20. Look at all the shit he's got going on. Be sure to follow him, like he said, at his Instagram. Be sure to follow Hollow Front, Virtue, everything that he said. But until next time, peace.
Yeah, thank you, man.
What a great episode.
Don't take me back to the young version of me. When I didn't even get a single phone call, I didn't want to do anything. And it's no wonder you're still so fucking lonely. In a world that you expect when it's destroyed by this wanting life. When my is to push away. That's the thing, don't buy your hypocrisy. It's like I'm stuck. You'll not bring me, you'll waste, remembering all